Hello everyone, how you doing today? I'm Steve G for Steve G Fishing, and today's video is going to be backpacking to your fishing hole, back to the basics. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. A lot of times I go out there fishing, or I'm talking to some of the fishermen, and I might be out there on the bank line and I'll talk to these guys and they'll tell me, well, I can't go fishing at all the fancy places because I don't have the money to buy a kayak, or I don't have the money to buy a boat. So they're going to be fishing off the bank line. So this video is going to teach you to become better fishermen on the bank line, stuff that you need, stuff that you're going to have, and stuff that's going to make that fishing trip a little bit more smoother. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to tell you to do is you want to go to the store and you want to get you a good, comfortable backpack, as you see here. I like to get a backpack that has a lot of storage space in it. Storage space on a backpack is really important. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the backpack is going to be really comfortable, because you're going to be walking around with this backpack all over the place. Now, the other thing I recommend that you invest in is you go to the store and you buy some of these clamps. And the nice thing about these camper clamps is you can hook them on the side where your handle is, and that's going to really come in handy for the next stuff that I'm going to explain to you. Now, the nice thing about this is you can get you a small landing net and hook it onto there, and that's really nice, and it's out of the way. The main reason I use it for is I like to carry a thermocell. A lot of times when you're in the woods or you're going to your bank somewhere fishing, the bugs will be out there, and you want to keep those bugs away so you can fish comfortably. So what I do is I take a thermocell like you see here, and I tied a whole bunch of knots in the string, and then I end up putting a loop on there like you see right there. And then I'll take the clamp, let me get that hooked up, and I'll clamp it just like that. So when I'm walking around, the thermocell's burning, or if I put the bag down, it's burning and it's keeping the bugs away. Especially when you're going back to your car, you might have a long walk and it's getting dark, and when that sun starts going down, those mosquitoes start biting you. And I like to have my thermocell to where it's hands-free and it's hanging on the backpack to where it's not in my way. So that's a real good thing to have. So let's go ahead and get started with the other stuff. Now, for the front of my pocket on my backpack, the small stuff that I like to load is, one, you want to have your trusty pair of sunglasses. That's very important. Sunglasses is really important. So you'll put that in the pocket there in the front. The other thing you want to do is you want to get a small Ziploc bag, and you want to carry your cell phone in there. What happens? You get caught out there in the rain, or you're by the water. You don't want your cell phone to get wet, so you carry it in a Ziploc bag, put that in the front of your backpack. The other thing is you want to get a good stringer. The stringer is really important. My stringer that I have here is about 15 foot. And the reason why I have it at 15 foot is I'll explain that later in the video. But I like to get a good stringer that's at least 15 foot long. So we'll stick that up there in the front of the pocket. The next thing you want to do is you want to get a small roll of toilet paper, just like that, and put it in a Ziploc bag. And if you want, you can even put some wipes in here. You never know, sometimes nature calls you and you don't have time to get to the bathroom. That trusty roll of toilet paper might end up saving your life one day. Carry some wipes in there with that if you want to wipe your hands. But carry that in a Ziploc bag and put that in the front of your pocket. The next thing you want to do is, what I do is I get another Ziploc bag, and I have my hooks, my toothpicks in there for if I want to peg my weights, And I have different size weights, everything that I need to help me get through the fishing. So I got my toothpicks, my hooks, and my weights. And I'll carry that in the front of the backpack part right there in the front pocket. Now the other thing you want to carry is a flashlight. I like to get these headlamps. They burn really, really bright. When it gets dark out, you want to have your hands free. I can put this on my head. My hands are free, and I can use this to get back to my car, or if I'm going fishing early in the morning, I can use it to get back to my fishing hole. This is a real good thing to have. Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get a trusty pair of pliers. You want to get a pair of pliers that doesn't rust. When these pliers get wet, they end up rusting. I've seen pliers get rusted when people carry them in their backpack, and then when they get to use them, they can't use them because they're rusted and they don't work anymore. Find you a good pair of stainless steel needle nose. This is what I use, needle nose pliers. Works really good, and they're not going to rust on you. So I'll stick that here in the backpack as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll zip that up. All right, the next thing we're going to do is I like to carry a trash bag. The reason for the trash bag is I might be going fishing out there and Mother Nature sneaks a rainstorm out. I can pull this out and build a homemade raincoat out of that, and that's going to keep me dry. So I can do that. Now the other thing you can do sometimes if you like is you can get the small white kitchen bags, and you can stick your backpack in that and just close that up, and that'll keep your backpack dry. But I always carry a garbage bag because you never know when it's going to rain. I don't like to carry the umbrella with me all the time. The trash bag works really well. So I'll use the trash bag. The next thing you want to do is I like to get a small tackle box. I love carrying a lot of tackle, so I try to make everything that I carry in my backpack that's going to work for me, that's going to help me meet those needs when I'm out there fishing. I get a small tackle box like this, and like I said, the pockets that you have that are in your backpack, I'll stick that back there in the far pocket in the back. So we'll put it in there just like that. Now the other thing is sometimes I like to have a lot more lures than I need, so I'll take another Ziploc bag. I carry all my stuff in Ziploc bags because it keeps it dry. So I'll carry that in the backpack. The other thing is I'll take another Ziploc bag, and I have my all different color worms, and I'll carry that in my backpack as well. And I'll have that in a Ziploc bag. So I'll put that in there. Then I have some other plastics that I use, and I'll carry that in a Ziploc bag as well, and I'll carry that in the backpack. Now, the other thing is really important is a towel. You might be out there fishing and you got gooey fish all over your hands. You want to be able to wipe your hands off so you don't have to wipe it on your clothes. Carry a towel. The towel works really well. Now we're going to talk about the towel and the different uses that the towel is going to serve later into the video, and we'll go from there and see what you think about that. So I'll put this on the sidelines. So I'll zip this up. Now another important thing is, I haven't mentioned, you want to go to your phone and you want to download an app. It's called Fish Rules. Look for that on Android. It's called Fish Rules. And what you're going to do is you're going to go into your cell phone on the Fish Rules, and you'll hit that. That's going to tell you what the size of your fish is the season open on that fish, and how many fish you're allowed to keep. Remember, you're out there on that water and a game warden sneaks up on you. He's going to expect you to know all the rules. So with the Fish Rule that you see on Android, download that and put that in your phone. That way, if the game warden comes up on you, you'll be able to look at that. You know the size of your fish, you know how many fish that you can have, and you'll know if the season is open or not. The fish rules will really come in handy for your fishing. So let's put this on the sidelines. Now another important thing is you want to get a 5-gallon bucket. The 5-gallon bucket comes in really, really handy. I'll show you what I use it for. Remember I told you that stringer was really long? I'll fill the bucket halfway up with water and I'll stick my fish in there, and I'll take the handle of this bucket here and I'll tie the stringer on there, and I have all that extra stringer line, and I'll throw that into the water to keep my fish alive. Now the other thing is the towel comes in real handy. Is I'll wet the towel, and I'll take the towel and I'll drape it over the bucket. So it'll be like this. And the reason for that is that'll keep my fish from drying out. Let's say you're going back to the car and you don't want your fish to dry out and the sun is shining. You put this over your bucket. It's going to keep everything nice and moist, and it's going to keep your fish from drying out. That's the use for the towel. Now the other thing that works really well for the 5-gallon bucket is let's say you didn't catch any fish and you're going to your fishing hole, or you have to go back to your car. What I do with the 5-gallon bucket is I take the backpack and I'll cram it inside of the bucket, just like that. So now I can go to my fishing hole, my hands are free, I'm carrying the bucket, and I have my pole in my other hand. So I'll take that, the hook that I have, my landing net will be on the side. I'll take the thermocell that I put the string on with the loop on there, and I'll carry it just like you see right here, like that. So now I got the 5-gallon bucket, the backpack, the thermocell to keep the bugs away. I got my flashlight on my head to get back to my car. My hands are free, so I got room to carry my bucket, and I got another hand to carry my fishing pole. Everything that you need to get to your fishing hole and to get you back, all in your backpack. So you don't have to carry a big tackle box. You got all this other junk you got to carry. It's nice. It's a short limit. Everything you need to make that trip work. Well, that's all I have for you. God bless. If you get a chance, take a kid fishing. They are our future. Get out there and catch some fish. Have a good time. And I hope to see you on my next video. I'm Steve G, and this is Steve G Fishing. Thank you.